guys, it's April, and I want to talk about Child of the Prophecy by Juliet Marillier. As always, I will do this review in the same way I do all of my other reviews. I will have the non-spoiler section up front, followed by the spoiled-filled section of some thoughts that I had that I need to get out of my face. But with this being a third book in a series, this is going to contain spoilers for the first two books in this series. If you haven't read those books, feel free to stay if you don't mind said spoilers, but if you are planning to read these books, I highly recommend that you go read those before you watch this review right here. Because things. Child of the Prophecy by Juliet Marillier. This is book 3 in the Seven Waters series, and the last book that I have actually read in the Seven Waters series, because at one point in time I thought this was the end of the series. Apparently that's not true. This is the story of Fanny, who is the unnatural daughter of Numin, who we met in the last book. Throughout the whole series, up until this point in the book, we've been dealing with some of the fallout of what has happened in Daughter of the Forest, and a prophecy revolving around the islands between Ireland and Britain, and the ownership of said islands. Fanny finds that she is pulled between both sides of her bloodline, both the not so good side and the people of Seven Waters, and she has to make a choice, and her choice will ultimately affect the outcome of the ownership of the island that all of this is centering around. Once again, Juliet Marillier creates such a vivid world. She has set up such an intricate family system within this series that I am pulled to everyone and everything. I love getting back into her books, and the mythologies she manages to weave into these stories almost seamlessly, I love. And also, she is really good at writing female characters that are very strong in my opinion, but at the same time dealing with a lot of things. There is never any black or white in her stories. All of these characters always have something dark that has happened or is continuing to happen, and there's just so much that goes on in this series. I will note here though that some of the characters that I think she pulls back into this story, because I have seen from their perspective in the things that they do in some of the earlier books, I feel sometimes they're out of character a little bit, and maybe that's just because I've built them up in my head in certain ways that it feels weird when they do something that just breaks my heart and goes against the new current character that I'm rooting for. And another thing about this book that I have to mention before I go on and tell you that you need to read this whole series, because you need to read this whole series, is the fact that Fanny up to this point is probably not my favorite point of view character. She has some naivety that I want to slap her a lot, but maybe that really just means that I'm really truly invested in the story and how things are going, but she seems oblivious to everything that is going on over here that is blatantly obvious, and she's really focused on whatever is going on over here that, yes, that is a thing that goes on in this book. But I do like how it concludes. It just makes my heart happy. So if you haven't read any of the Seven Waters series, please do. Please, I'm begging you, go do that. And this is the point where I tell you that this is going to contain even more spoilers about this specific book. So if you haven't read this book and you want to and you don't want to spoil yourself, this is the time where you quietly exit and then come back after you finish the book. But if you've read this book or you just like to live life on the edge, feel free to stay. I have no idea what is about to come out of my mouth. Now, I don't have a lot of things to say. I don't. Besides the fact that at this point, this is probably my least favorite in the series, but it is still a very epically good book. Honestly, it is. I had trouble getting into it at the beginning because it's a reread for me, and so I knew it was happening, and I knew Fanny is just not a character I really like. But once I really get into the story, once things really start happening and falling out, I binged this book. Let's be honest, it's a thing that happened. I just ran through the story. So it's just that initial push. It starts kind of slow in a place that yeah, that's pretty much my face when I first started out, which is why it took me over a month to actually get started on this book. My bad. And as I hinted at during my non-spoiler section, here, Layden, I hate what she becomes in this book. I know she's a mother and she's overprotective and she's seen everything that has gone wrong, but this is her niece. This is the daughter of her sister, and she knows that the child of the union of her sister's choice. Yeah, there's some evil in that, but I struggle with the blaming and the fact that Léoden is always such a good judge of character, but here something is just completely like covering her to the fact that something deeper is going on and no one really wants to dig into that. I think that is the main thing that irked me, but overall I really truly did enjoy this story, even if it was slow going at first for me. I'm excited to get to the rest of the series, which I haven't read yet. This will be brand new for me. We'll see how this goes. Tell me down below your thoughts on anything, everything, I don't care. Just comment down below, I guess, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.